Good evening, everyone. Student meteorologist Matt Reagan here, looking at your weather headlines and your forecast for the upcoming week. Sunny and dry is what we were talking about today, but will the rain return? We'll get to that in just a moment. Of course, we're always talking about the weekend here, even on a Tuesday. So we are just a couple days away from the weekend. Hang in there, folks. We'll get you through the forecast here real quick. A couple of areas of funny business we're watching, especially here in the Atlantic. We'll start there with Invest 95L. Here's the latest 25-mile-per-hour winds, pressure 1,011 millibars, just an area of swirl, broad area of swirl that the Hurricane Center has highlighted to possibly form over the next 5 days or so. 40% chance of development right now as it moves closer and closer towards the coast of Venezuela and the Lesser Antilles towards the Caribbean Sea. However, this thing's going to have a few things to contend with as it starts to make that trek towards the eastern Caribbean. Now, we'll break it down for you. I'll look at the current satellite and radar across the region. We've got a lot of snowfall. This rain-snow line delineating the difference, and really it's only a couple of miles that are seeing a couple of inches of snow versus about a tenth or 2/10 of an inch of rain. And we're seeing that all through. Just north of the Atlanta metro has been seeing quite a bit of snow down into Alabama, even areas of Alabama seeing double digits in higher elevations. So this snowfall all the way, it goes all the way down the Gulf Coast and into Texas, all centered around this big low pressure system that is starting to form in the Gulf of Mexico. Thanks for tuning in. I'm meteorologist Matt Reagan. Storms across the south is what we're dealing with right now at this hour, especially in parts of Jacksonville and Duval County. You're actually seeing a severe thunderstorm warning here until 2:45 p.m., penny-sized hail, as well as wind gusting up to 60 miles per hour. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for Duval County. Does include some of the areas of Metro Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a very large city, so watch out for this, and a lot of lightning is in this cell as well. Of course, this is until 2:45 p.m. Danger level, this is extreme. This is about as real as it gets, folks, on the east coast of Florida. And even farther inland, we're going to see effects from Major Hurricane Matthew as it moves in. Here's our current watches and warnings map. Speaking of inland effects, we have the hurricane warning up, of course, all throughout the East Coast, all the way in, even to Orlando. Parts of Disney, well, all of Disney is actually closed tomorrow, and this is really unprecedented. Disney has only closed down a few times in its history, all of which were for hurricanes, and this is not any exception. Farther inland, of course, we still have a tropical storm warning, even tropical storm watches the rest of the peninsula. Let's look at the futurecast, though. Tonight, seeing some storms in and around the Orlando and Tampa area down the I-4 corridor. As we do set this thing into motion, we see those storms go away overnight. The overnight hours looking pretty dry across the entire southeast. Moving into tomorrow, though, we can see a little bit of sea breeze action, initiate some storms firing across the peninsula. Here in Tallahassee, though, we're looking pretty dry. It's going to be a nice day overall tomorrow. And then down into Wednesday evening, once again, the storms start to move offshore. Maybe some early morning storms on Thursday for parts of Fort Lauderdale, down into Miami. The coastal communities of southeast Florida could see some showers and storms tonight. Timing it out for you here, 1 o'clock hour. We're still seeing the rain across the coast, some possible showers across the metro, all across the southeast. It's summertime, folks, so that's what we're seeing, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The storms start to bubble up with that daytime heating, and that's exactly what we're seeing, especially a focus point down here all the way from pretty much the entire I-10 corridor, seeing those storms increase as Nate starts to approach. One thing I do want to note, you may not need your sunscreen, so we won't be roasting out there on an open fire, but we will be possibly seeing some rain. Now, Nate, we mentioned that. Here's the Gulf Coast watches and warnings right now. Some tropical storm watches extending as far east as Indian Pass. Panama City FSU campus is under that, and then hurricane watches and warnings as we get closer and closer to Alabama. Now, what we know right now about tropical storm Nate, safe place to go just in case a tornado does decide to form in this high-risk area. But we will keep an eye on that here. One last look at our local radar. Here's those storms. Right now, Florida State University, Tallahassee, we are clear for now, but that will change over the next few hours. Here's the storms. These are starting to develop into supercells, and these supercells will pick up some rotation over the next few hours. And this rotation, of course, causes tornadoes. So we'll keep an eye on this here from the FSU Weather Lab. These calm winds, keep the jacket out. Still a little bit chilly. Tomorrow, we're looking at another gorgeous day, 78 degrees. Isolated showers possible. We saw that one shower off at the Panama City Beach in the Gulf waters. Could see something like that a little bit closer to home tomorrow. Winds, they're going to be gusting about 20 miles per hour, so it could be a gusty day. Now, we're going to be talking about some change in the forecast. That's on Wednesday and into tomorrow. 40% chance of rain Thursday, 30%. But look at this. A cold front pushes through, and gorgeous temperatures, actually kind of cold, down into the 30s. Look at the difference between Thursday's low and Friday's low. 63 is Thursday's low, and then Thursday's low is Friday's high. So it's going to be cooling down tremendously quick into Friday as the strong cold front does start to move through.